Hello, in this problem we're going to try to factor 3p squared minus 13p minus 10. Let's go ahead and try to do this solution. So this is a little bit harder because the number here is not a 1. And so if you use like the guessing method, which I'm a huge fan of, it's going to be a little bit harder. So instead we're going to use something called the AC method. So you find your A and your C. So this is your A and this is your C. By the way, this here is your B, but we don't really need it. Then you multiply A times C. So you do 3 times negative 10. So 3 times negative 10 is equal to negative 30. And then what you want to ask yourself is the following. And when you're first learning this, it helps to write it down. So you need two numbers. Okay, this is what we need. We need two numbers that multiply to negative 30, okay, and they add to the middle term here, so negative 13. And if you can't find them, then you can just say, oh, you can't factor it. Now, it turns out, just a disclaimer, everything actually factors, but you have to use complex numbers. So when people say it doesn't factor, they mean it doesn't factor using only real numbers. So just a quick disclaimer. So you multiply these and you get negative 30. So you need two numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add to negative 13. So 10 and 3 won't work because if you're going to multiply to negative 30, one of them has to be positive. There's no way to get that. So I'm thinking 2 and 15. 2 and 15. And then if we make the 15 negative, when we add these, we'll get negative 13. Okay, so now what you do is you go back to your problem and then you write this using the negative 15 in the 2. Okay, so this will be 3p squared. And then you have to decide which one to write next, the 2 or the negative 15. I'm going to put the negative 15 here because that way I can combine it with the 3. I can pull out a 3 here later, and then I'll put the plus 2 here. You see how I did that? So basically you're just taking this and you're breaking it up with these two numbers. Negative 15 plus 2 is negative 13. And then here we have the minus 10. Okay, before I go to the next step, I just want to recap this because I know it's not like super easy for people to get this. This takes practice. Step 1, you take these two numbers, you multiply them, and so we get this. Then you need two numbers that multiply to that, but add to negative 13. After some thought, we come up with this. We write this down, and then we take this number here and we break it up into these two numbers. I chose to put the negative 15 here because it can be easily combined with the 3, and I put the 2 here because it can easily be combined with the 10. Okay, let's keep going. So now we can pull out a common factor from here. That will be 3p parentheses. And then let's see, what's missing to get 3p squared? So p, that's because 3p times p is 3p squared. And then here, 3p times negative 5 is going to give us negative 15p. Over here, we can pull out a 2 from these terms here. So plus 2 parentheses, and here we have p, and then minus 5. And we can check that. 2 times p is 2p, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So again, we pulled out a 3 from these pieces here and the 2 from these pieces here. And the goal was to have a common factor. So now you can pull out the p minus 5 and you can put it in the front or you can put it in the back. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the back like this. So I'm going to write it as 3p plus 2 parentheses p minus 5. Some people have a really hard time with this step, so let's just check. P minus 5 times 3p is right here. See, this whole thing times 3p is this, and this whole thing times 2 is this. So everything checks, and that is the fully factored form. I hope this video has been helpful to someone. Good luck.